Hello and welcome inside the Budweiser Bullpen. Nick Lalpuis with you here as we get ready to go. The final two games in this marathon of hockey, 10 straight home games at the Bullpen. And it concludes with this classic West Texas rivalry, the Amarillo Wranglers and the Odessa Jackalopes, before the Wranglers hit the road for 3 straight weeks. But it should be a really packed weekend this weekend. The past couple of weekend series, the Wranglers have really been racking up the numbers in attendance, now second most in attendance in the North American Hockey League, averaging right around 2,200 a night. And last Saturday, a record high for the short existence of the Wranglers franchise, 3,821 fans in attendance last Saturday night. And it should be another packed weekend this weekend as Amarillo is a big hockey town all the time, but especially this weekend. The Youth Stanley Cup Challenge is coming back to town, the seventh time that this tournament has taken place here in Amarillo. Over 20 different youth teams from around the region will make their way here to Amarillo to play games right behind me at the Budweiser Bullpen and also across the street at the Amarillo Ice Ranch. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Tonight is Youth Sports Night presented by Sonic and Kids Inc. So it's going to be a packed house tonight. Wranglers will be wearing some specialty jerseys as tomorrow night is Comic-Con night. Special Captain America themed jerseys to be worn this weekend and auctioned off tomorrow night. So a lot of stuff going on around the game and around the playing surface, but it's a huge weekend for both these teams as we get into the second half of the season here in the North American Hockey League. Wranglers have played exactly 30 games now. They kick off the second half this weekend against Odessa, and only 4 points separate these two teams in the standings, and Wranglers a little bit behind New Mexico in the standings. We'll take a look at that in just a moment, but the Wranglers coming in, tough loss against Oklahoma on Saturday night, where that's an Oklahoma team that's had the same core for 3 years now, and you've heard from Coach Mahood and Coach Sutter all throughout this process that it's about a 3-year process they're trying to follow to try and really build this team for that third season. They had a great year last year with 27 wins. Good start so far this year, but a big weekend against Odessa as we'll take a look at those standings. As you see, only 4 points separating Amarillo and Odessa. And so this is a huge weekend for Amarillo. If they can get a couple of wins here at home, can create a little bit of separation, and also trying to track down those Ice Wolves, just 3 points behind New Mexico for that final playoff spot with a game in hand. And Wranglers will actually be taking on New Mexico next weekend. So a big next 4 games for these Wranglers to start off the second half of the season. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But, again, expected a couple of great crowds this weekend. Those records, again, 15-12, 2-1 for Amarillo, and Odessa at 14-14, 0-1. Wranglers, a couple of key players. Well, we always take a look at those leading scorers. You got Chase Davis with 27 points, the captain leading the way. Patterson, big couple of weekends so far, 22 points here. And Simonovic was back on the ice last weekend after playing in the World Juniors with 16 points on the year. And so those are just a couple of the guys to keep an eye on for Amarillo as, again, a huge weekend against Odessa this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. But, again, it's a lot of stuff surrounding the games this weekend as the Captain America jerseys will be debuting tonight, auctioned off tomorrow night. Was able to get a quick look at those. They're hanging up in the locker room. As you can tell, the blue base with the big star in the middle and then the red and white stripes down below. You got the Wranglers logo on the shoulder there. So those are going to be really sick, really cool to see on the ice, I'm sure. And, again, those will be auctioned off after the game tomorrow night. So we got Youth Sports Night tonight. Should be a huge crowd. And then tomorrow night, Comic-Con, where fans in attendance can have a chance to get some YC3 passes for Yellow City Comic-Con coming up later in the year. So a lot of stuff going on around the ice and a huge weekend on the ice for these Amarillo Wranglers, and looking to bounce back after a couple tough losses against Oklahoma. They had a good week of preparation and even some more team bonding as they were out at Synergy, a partner of the Amarillo Wranglers. They got some bowling in Wednesday night, so nice to kind of clear the head a little bit, clear the mind to get prepared for Odessa, but I was able to join them for just a couple of minutes. They didn't want to take up most of their time, but it was a lot of fun getting to hang out with them, and here's just a quick look at these guys, a couple of good bowlers here on the team here in Amarillo.
I kind of just send it. Right down the middle, just send it. No thinking. He's got it there.
I was right about my prediction.
Yeah, Trey and
Nara's really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick at everything, but especially probably Trey. Probably Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having top 2, not 2.
Yeah, Trey's pretty good.
We heard Simonovic, he's good at everything.
So a big shout out, big thanks to the guys for letting me get some videos there. You saw Blake Farrell using the ball guide. Seemed to work out a couple of times. Looked like Trey Williams was one of the better bowlers. They were talking Simonovic was pretty good. DeMarco, a couple of great frames. So that was really cool and looked like they had a lot of fun. Again, a big shout out to Synergy partners here with the Wranglers for allowing the boys to kind of get out and get something going there Wednesday night. So that was a lot of fun. As we take a look at some of the big players to watch this weekend for Odessa, well, a couple of their leading scorers, number 11, Ryan Mansfield, always dangerous here in his second year with Odessa. He's got 14 goals and 14 helpers on the year. And then Tannen Bezier, who put up a couple of points. Last time these two teams met back in Odessa, he's now got 13 goals and 15 helpers on the year. Now, the goaltenders by the numbers on the Odessa side, you have Sigurdsson, who wears number 1. He's got a 3-3 record this season, a 2.83 goals against average and a 901 save percentage. But it's Gregory Oriez who has gotten the majority of the starts. He's got an 11-8 record on the year, a 2.94 goals against average and a 921 save percentage. So he wears number 33. That's how the goaltenders shake out for Odessa. On the Amarillo side of things, Luka Gans, he's got 11 wins on the year, an 11-6 record, a 2.67 goals against average, and an 890 save percentage. And Clafton, on the other hand, at 4-6 on the year, a 2.71 goals against average, and a 908 save percentage. A couple of the guys behind me getting warmed up as we get closer to puck drop tonight, 7:15. And again, a huge weekend to start the second half of the season. Game number 31 on the year for Amarillo. Their 17th game here at home. And again, want to bring up those South Division standings. And the always competitive South Division. Lone Star leading the way with 50 points on the year. Oklahoma 5 points behind them. Shreveport, they've been on a roll as of late. They've got 40 points on the year now with an 18-10 2-2 record. And again, New Mexico just 3 points ahead of Amarillo. Wranglers with 1 game in hand. Amarillo with 33 points, and again, Odessa 4 points behind them, so a huge weekend. Well, these next 4 games are huge for Amarillo. You have Odessa this weekend, and then at New Mexico next weekend, El Paso and Corpus Christi rounding things out in the South Division. So should be a great weekend this weekend. Again, some very exciting competitive hockey to kick off the second half of the season. Expecting some great crowds with U Sports Night tonight, presented by Sonic, and then tomorrow night, Comic-Con night, presented by YC3. And those Captain America jerseys that we saw a little bit earlier will be auctioned off tomorrow night after the game. Thank you so much for joining us here on Facebook Live as we get closer to dropping the puck. And puck drop will be at 7:15 on Hockey TV and the Amarillo Wranglers Radio Network, powered by Mixler. You go on to Mixler, their app or their website, look up Amarillo Wranglers. It'll be right there. Puck drop at 7:15. Should be a fun one to get the second half started. Thanks again so much for joining us. We'll see you 7:15 either right here at the Budweiser Bullpen or on Hockey TV. This is Nick Lalpuis saying so long. We'll see you soon. Puck drop just a couple of hours.